Welcome to the Wave Roundup. I'm Jonny Richardson,
Zepeda here.
and we're with Everything San Diego. We are previewing the upcoming Kansas City current San Diego Wave match coming to Snapdragon Stadium this Saturday, 7 p.m., where first place Wave will take on the last place Kansas City Current. But they are not playing like a last place team. They have 3 wins in the last 6 games and 10 points in the standings, and they trail Chicago by 1 point.
That's right.
In the table. We just spoke with Casey Stoney with a virtual press conference like just 20 minutes ago from the time of the recording. Taylor Korniak suffered a setback last week, but should still be available. Everyone else on the injury front is the same as the 2 weeks ago. Do you have anything else to add?
I think biggest missing player right now, Kristen McNabb, still out. She was been really key, really important for the Wave team, but I think the Wave have been able to survive without her, and right now we're going to still see, I think, a Kaylee Reel, Naomi Girma as the center backs move. We'll probably have Maddie Pogard as a left back. We might see Sierra Engie in that position. She's been moved around a lot by Casey. I think something really interesting that happened last week was Emily Van Egmon's first full game since I think April against Angel City, that she was been playing in that defensive role, and Sierra Engie has been doing pretty good in that role too. But I think Emily Van Egmond really shows her impact on this team and why she was so important to Australia in this World Cup, and why she's going to be important for the Wave for this last 4 weeks.
Yeah, and during the press conference, Casey Stoney talked about last week they had a bye, and so give them extra time to prepare. Some of the international players, she didn't say day off, but had a little bit of a breather. Some of them did not appear in a scrimmage between Wave players last week. That did happen over the weekend.
And during that bye week, Kansas City was actually playing in the Challenge Cup. They managed to advance out of the group stage, so I wouldn't call them a more tired team, but they didn't get that extra rest that Wave got this week.
Yeah. And so I talked to Jaden Shaw earlier today about what the mindset is going into this, because Kansas City last place, but you can't look. She said you can't look at the rankings in this league. Any team could beat any team. Anybody can beat any team on any given night.
Yeah. And Casey, she said that she doesn't think that Kansas City deserves to be at the bottom of the table. She really sees them as a better team. And sometimes you get a lot of coach speak in that way, where every team's good, every team's important, every team's hard. But I think when you're talking about the NWSL, that does actually ring true. You have such a tight race right now. Kansas City still technically can make the playoffs, even though they're in last place with 4 games left. I think this feels like a very important home game for San Diego if they want to clinch one of those top 2 spots that will guarantee them a home playoff match and even a bye week.
We could talk about the standings a little bit here. Wave they have a 1-point lead over Portland, for first place. They're only 2 points ahead of North Carolina, 3 ahead of LL Reign, and they're only 6 points ahead of Racing Louisville and Angel City, who are on the outside looking in. Mm-hmm. So this final stretch might feel like your first place. You can take a little bit of a breather, but you can't, because this league is super competitive, and if you take any momentum off, you could see yourself out of the playoffs pretty quickly.
And next 2 away matches, North Carolina, first Portland, and then you're playing North Carolina both away. That's going to be quite the challenge. I think you get a win and a draw at least out of both of those games. You're almost guaranteed one of those top spots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if they get a top 2 spot and they get a bye in the quarterfinals, they get a home semifinal, and then if they win that, they get a home championship game, because the game will be played here in San Diego no matter what, whether Wave are in it or not.
Yeah, that will be quite the event here for San Diego.
Yeah. And you look at Kansas City; they're in last place, but you talked about how like they could still make it to the playoffs. They are 8 points out of the playoff spot, 7 points out of the playoff spot behind Washington Spirit, and so they're looking to make a final push. They've won 3 of the last 6. They've gotten 10 points, and they're looking a lot better right now.
Yeah. And important thing I think to mention about Kansas City, one of their main forwards, Michelle Cooper, she hasn't been super successful on the goal front this year, but she's been a pretty solid player. She will not be available for this game because of yellow card accumulation, so that will probably help the Waves defense. Though I honestly doubt they probably needed that. Naomi Girma, Kayla Real, Kaylin Sheridan, they top in the whole world as far as defenses go.
And Germer will be one of 3 U.S. national players who will be off next week. Well, already a bye anyways for Wave, but they'll be with the U.S. national team for 2 friendly matches here in the United States. They'll that they are Germa. Jaden Shaw made her first, and Alex Morgan will be there as well.
Yeah, and also Kaylin Sheridan and Sophia Jakobsen were called up as well. Sophia Jakobsen will be going to Europe. Kaylin Sheridan, I believe they'll be playing in Canada, playing against Jamaica. But yeah, that's going to be important for Casey Stoney to keep the players fresh, keep the mindset focused on going for this final playoff push.
It'll be interesting to see how they're affected going and because right after the bye week they go play at Portland, and probably the most important game of the season.
Yeah,
you have 2 of the top teams. You have 2 of the top players, Alex Morgan and Sophia Smith.
Yeah, and the last time San Diego played in Portland was when they got kicked out of the playoffs. Well, actually, no, they played the Challenge Cup there. But the last NWSL regular season game was when they got kicked out of the playoffs last year. And great game, great atmosphere at Portland. I really want to make that trip. Actually, that's gonna be a fun night.
Yeah, that's must watch. If you can't make it to any games, you've watched that game.
Yeah,
for sure. All right, I think that'll do it for this episode of Wave Roundup. We'll both be here. We'll both be at Snapdragon Stadium for Saturday's match. You can check out esdsports.com for all of our writing and reporting, everything else on there. You follow our Twitter accounts too.
Yep. At Abe_Zepeda for me. I will be there early at 4:00 at the Wave game. They're gonna have a little pre-party, I think, in like the tailgate area, grass area at Snapdragon. They did send an email saying they would be showing the San Diego Loyal game beforehand. They're going to be playing away. So if you want to go check that out, I think they're going to have some local car clubs there celebrating Mexican Independence Day. They're having their Latino Heritage Night on September 16th. It's going to be, I think it should be a lot of fun.
And we'll see you all there, hopefully.
Yeah. Thank you.